Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Comic Hall. This is Dylan Lang and my new Spider-Man shirt. Got from Target. So if you like Spider-Man, go ahead and go get Target. Go pick it up for yourself. It's a cover of Spider-Man #1 that Todd McFarlane wrote and drew. But that's besides the point. Today's episode of the Comic Hall is all about the comics that I bought this week. These are the comics that I bought, that I liked, and there are a lot of other ones, and I'll talk about a few of them in a second, but here's my Comic Hall for this week. Good amount of stuff, some interesting stuff. The one thing you'll find missing in this is Secret Empire. Secret Empire #0, along with a number of the crossovers, like Captain America, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and a few other ones as well. They all came out this week as well. I am going to be boycotting the Secret Empire storyline because I think it's pedantic. I think it's stupid. Marvel just keeps doing these dumb crossovers over and over and over again, and I really don't have the money to take care of that, so I'm just going to ignore it. I don't like the direction that Marvel's going in with that kind of stuff. That being said, I will be talking about this more on Sunday when I do my regular talk show, Dylan Knows, 12-ish p.m. on Sunday. What Marvel's doing, which is I find disgraceful, with Secret Empire, is going to be one of the topics of discussion. So if you don't agree with what I have to say, that's fine. You don't have to. If you want to go out and you want to read Secret Empire, go ahead, by all means. Issue #0 came out, as well as a bunch of the crossovers. I also didn't get a lot of other stuff as well. So go to your local comic book store. Just go and check it out and find some cool stuff. But this is the stuff that I got. First up, the next big storyline in the continuing saga of the Watchmen and Rebirth. We have Batman #21 crossing over with the Flash. This is the Button Part 1, where Batman and the Flash are going to be investigating the button that appeared at the end of Rebirth #0. It's written by Tom King, with art by who did the artwork? Jason Fabak. And it's actually really well done series. It's done in real time, and it's kind of amazing to do a real time comic. And it's kind of interesting to see how Tom King did that. So that alone would make it worth it. But as I said, this is going to be crossing over with the Flash, so I'd highly recommend you check that out. There's also multiple covers for this as well, so check that out as well. Okay, my table's all rearranged now. Let me see if I can move these over here. Whoops, excuse me. We got a new printer, so it's until we move it, stuck on my table here. So I got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Next up, we got another really good series coming out from DC. It's Superman #21. It's written by Patrick Gleason and Peter J. Tomasi, with pencils by Patrick Gleason, inks by Mick Gray, Joe Prado, Ray McCarthy. Continues the Black Dawn storyline, where we learn a little bit more about the bizarre stuff happening in Superman's neighborhood. And we get a guest appearance by Robin, it looks like. So check it out. Crazy stuff going on. So it's well worth it. Next up after that is Green Lanterns #21. Polarity, continuing that this is the end of the Polarity story, and we're finally getting, after this, a story where the Earth Lanterns are going to be teaming up with the Green Lantern Corps. It's written by Sam Humphries, with pencils by Robson Roca and inks by Daniel Henriquez. So Green Lantern has been a very good book. I need to get caught back up on it, but good artwork, good story, and well worth check it out. And Dr. Polaris is one of the big bads from the Green Lantern saga, so it'll be good. Next issue should be interesting with them talking with the Green Lantern Corps. Next up, Batwoman #2, written by Marguerite Bennett and James Tynion IV, with pencils by Steve Epting, and inks, I guess he also did also. So Batwoman is great, Steve Epting is great, Marguerite Bennett and James Tynion are great, so the series is great, and it's only issue #2, so you can still get caught up on the ground floor. They have the Rebirth issue and then issue #1, so definitely worthwhile to check it out. Good artwork, good storyline. Next up, we have Super Sons #3, written by Peter Tomasi, with art by Jorge Jimenez. It has Superboy teaming up with Robin, and it's a very interesting comic to see these guys team up together and start a friendship that hopefully as they get older will continue to grow. And it's great to see that John, who is Superboy, does not take Damian's crap. That's why they get along so well. So well worth it. Great series. Another great series we have is Superwoman number 9. Kay Perkins is the scriptwriter. I wonder if that means that Phil Jimenez is leaving. I don't know about it. Steven Segovia and Art Thibbert are the new creative team. Is Kay Perkins going to be the new writer? I'll have to check that out. I hadn't heard anything about Jimenez leaving, but it's a shame if he did. But Superwoman's still a good series. This ties into Superman Rebirth, and I hope that Kay Perkins is just writing this one issue and we get Phil Jimenez back, because this is the first that I heard about him leaving. So we'll double check that and see for sure what's going on with that and let you know next week. I may have to get this for my daughter. I'll have to check this out. Just remind me, okay, if I forget, because she loves Katana. So Deathstroke number 17 continues to surprise, as always. Christopher Priest, writer. Joe Bennett, penciler. Norm Ratmud, inker. Just a great creative team. And very, and we're going to be getting some big changes soon in Deathstroke. So we're going to get a new team. He's going to get into a new team, new costumes. And it should be a very interesting saga to see what they've got planned coming up for this. So we will see what happens with that. And I've lost all my viewers. Oh, well, they got bored with me, I guess. Harley Quinn number 18. This is the Frank Cho variant cover. I kind of liked it. Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor. Looks like John Timms and Joseph Michael Linsner doing some of the artwork, sharing the artwork here. Some of the Michael Linsner stuff. This is the Timms stuff. And on top of that, we get Paul Dini doing a, interesting. We get Paul Dini doing a backup because Paul Dini created Harley Quinn. Jimmy Palmiotti is also co-writing it with Paul Dini with art by Brett Blevins and J Bone Inks. So very cool. So you get 2 stories for the price of 1. We have to check that Amazon after I film this. Next up, we have Trinity number 8. Trinity's another one that has a new creative team, apparently. Cullen Bunn, script, Emanuela Lapacino pencils, Ray McCarthy inks. This also is a follow-up to the Superman Rebirth story. So there was a bunch of other Superman Rebirth stuff that was coming up. So very interesting. I got to get caught up on all this stuff. So if Cullen Bunn is writing this, that's very interesting. I hadn't heard anything. So we'll see what happens. I honestly, I didn't get a chance to look at this stuff before I did the show today, really. All-Star Batman number 9. Again, I'm probably in the minority, but I'm not liking what Scott Snyder has been doing with Batman recently. This one's Scott Snyder with Jock doing pencils and inks. This latest storyline, Ends of the Earth, really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and maybe I got to reread it all. But I mean, the artwork looks pretty, but I'm just not a big fan of what's going on. And we continue with the backup storyline as well, with Francisco Francavilla doing the artwork and Scott Snyder doing the writing on it. So I'm a bit disappointed in All-Star Batman, and particularly for $4.99. I'll have to take a look and see what's coming up with that. But real quick, baby, I'm live. Good night. Love you. Next up, we have Nightwing number 19. Nightwing Must Die. Tim Seeley, Javier Fernandez, and Minkyu Jung doing the artwork on that. And continuing some threads that were in Batman and Robin. Particularly during that, I guess, was when Nightwing was portraying Batman. So Interesting. Finally, the last regular DC Rebirth, we have Justice League number 19. Brian Hitch, Fernando Passerian, and Matt Ryan continuing their storyline. So Justice League. Probably going to be dropping the series, but have to keep going for the while. It's really hard to drop you. I can't quit you. Eventually we will, though. So there's that. So that's all the DC Rebirth books that came out this week. Now, there's still some other stuff from the other imprints from DC. First up is a book whenever it comes up on my comic call, I always have to preface it by saying everyone should be reading this book. Everyone should be going to their comic book stores, buying the trade paperbacks, reading them to get caught up, because this book has been just celebrated its 100th issue through different iterations, and highly recommended for everybody. It's Kurt Busiek's Astro City, his newest issue, number 43. It was written by Kurt Busiek, obviously. It looks like Brent's back on artwork, but I could be wrong. Usually they have that credits in here. Brent Anderson, artist, so I was right. Yep. So just love the premise of Astro City, getting lots of story arcs and also one-off stories about the different heroes in this one town, and also the people who are related to them, or who are influenced by them, or have situations that are dealing with them. Just a great series. Highly recommend to pick up all the trades and pick up the comic as well. Issue number 43 is a new one, came out this week. Speaking of Superman, or was a while back, from Young Animal, we have Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye. Again, Michael Avon Oeming's artwork is fantastic. It's written by Gerard Way and John Rivera, with the fantastic artwork by Michael Avon Oeming. He's doing a really good job with Cave Carson. In this case, he's brought in Wild Dog, he's brought in Superman, and it's such a really interesting series, a really unique series, and got to give him credit for keeping my interest in this stuff. So definitely worthwhile. And then finally, Warren Ellis is rebuilding the Wildstorm saga, the universe. This is the third issue of the Wildstorm story. John Davis Hunt, artist. So you get some Warren Ellis taking over for the Wildstorm saga, trying to set up the Wildstorm, and we'll see what happens once this series is over. It looks like it's 24 issues. So once this is all done, we'll see what happens with the Wildstorm universe. To be honest, it's not interesting me as much as it should be, but I will probably continue reading it. We'll see. That's it for DC. Marvel, I wasn't going to pick this one up originally. As I said, Secret Empire number 0 and its various crossovers have started this week. If you want to get into the Marvel crossover again, the whole thing's going to change, blah, blah, blah. Secret Empire, go to your comic store, pick up number 0, pick up the crossovers. You won't be upset, probably. I just am not a big fan of what the storyline's going with it. That being said, I wasn't going to pick up this book, but I looked through it just to see what it looked like. And I was like, man, I got to get it. It's Nick Fury number 1, written by James Robinson, with art by Aiko. Where's the creative team here? Huh. That's everyone else. Oh, here we go. James Robinson, writer, Aiko pencils, Hugo Petrus, inker. The reason why I picked this up is because, for those who don't remember when Nick Fury was an old white dude, Jim Steranko did a run in the 70s, which was a very drug-induced, I'm not saying he took drugs, but the way that the story was and the art and the craziness, it seemed conducive to, if you were taking drugs, it'd make it a lot interesting. It looks like Aiko's trying to do the same thing with his crazy designs, bright colors. I mean, and the whole book is like this. And it looks very much like he's trying for a Steranko feel. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. It looks good. It looks like a lot of fun. As I said, it got me enticed and got me into buying it. So I'm definitely going to check this out. Particularly this page. Look at that. Definitely Steranko-esque. So I might stick around for Nick Fury for a little while to see if, as long as Aiko and James Robinson are still on it. So we'll see. This book is continuously fantastic as I'm dropping a lot of Marvels. These are some that I'm keeping up on. Moon Knight number 13, Jeff Lemire. Greg Smallwood is doing a fantastic job with Moon Knight. Such an interesting character. Great artwork. Great storyline. Enjoying this one immensely. I mean, Warren Ellis and Declan Shaw, we did a really good job with Moon Knight, and now we're getting another good series as well. So, and I don't think either of these are going to be involved in Secret Empire. So I could be wrong because, of course, Nick Fury's dealing with Hydra. So I don't know. But for now, I'm getting it. That's it for Marvel. Yep, that's it. As I said, going to be dropping a lot of Marvels because I just do not like where they're going. Did I contemplate buying Secret Empire? Absolutely. But in the end, I said, you know what? It's $5. Not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to pick up from Independence Red Sonja number 4. Got Amy Chu and Carlos Gomez continuing Red Sonja trapped in the modern day, which is always such a really good story to see someone from the Hyperion age come in and take on the modern day stuff. So we'll see how long this lasts. But plus the cheesecake artwork is never bad either. And Amy Chu's a really good up and coming writer. My wife's one of my wife's favorite movies is Dark Crystal. Archaea does their Dark Crystal comic. This is The Power of the Dark Crystal. Simon Spurrier, Kelly and Nicole Matthews doing the story and the art. It's the cover is definitely to draw your attention, where the interior art is slightly different. But if you like the Dark Crystal, definitely would check out this. As I said, you're only on issue number 2. It's only 12 issues long, so you can either wait for it to be out in trade, or you can pick it up now and read it monthly. So good to check that out as well. Josie and the Pussycats number 6. Archie's been doing a fantastic job with their revamped comics. We are continuing with Josie and the Pussycats because Marguerite Bennett is co-writing it with Cameron Diordio, with art by Audrey Mulk. And chick rock band, you cannot beat that. So Josie and the Pussycats is one of the only Archie books that I'm continuously collecting and reading and enjoying immensely. So very enjoyable. Check it out. The new updated Archies are fantastic, and you should check out all of them. Just because that's the only one I check out doesn't mean you shouldn't. Check out Jughead. Check out Betty and Veronica. Check out Archie itself. Check out Afterlife with Archie when that gets back on track again. That's another good one as well. Check out Sabrina. So you got some really good stuff coming up. So kudos to you, Archie, for your new update. Licensing books from IDW are doing well. This is one of my favorites. It's Back to the Future number 18, continuing the saga of Marty McFly and Doc. It's written by John Barber and Bob Gale. I always mention this. Bob Gale was the guy who created the Back to the Future saga and wrote the movies. So he's also writing the comic, along with John Barber. Art is by Marcello Ferreira. And this one has Doc going back in time and meeting with Clara again and doing all kinds of stuff. This is more of a Doc-oriented storyline and not so much Marty. Marty's storyline was oriented last time. This time we're getting a little bit more of the Doc because we haven't seen him in a while. I almost didn't buy this book, but it's only 6 issues. Boom does a great job. It's on issue 4. It's the Deep. It's almost like when you first got it, looked like The Incredibles, but it's an underwater family adventure. Tom Taylor, James Brower, their family that goes underwater and explores stuff underwater. And underwater stuff is always cool because if you're really looking for a really good alien place, underwater is. That also reminds me of a hugely underrated Disney movie, which I'm going to talk about a little bit about on Sunday also. Atlantis. Got to check out Atlantis if you haven't already. It's a fantastic Disney movie. We'll talk a little bit about more, but this is a continuous good stuff. So Boom Studios does a fantastic job, so keep it going with that. Excuse me. Charles Soule's Curse Words number 4 is continuing to break records. Ryan Brown is the artist. It's magic in modern day times. And it's Charles Soule. So crazy, interesting stuff if you're interested in that stuff. Finally, last but not least, we have Sex Criminals number 18, written by Matt Fraction, art by Chip Zdarsky. For mature readers, hot pics of mom and dad in here, of your mom and dad in here. Sex Criminals is a great comic. Yes, there's nudity. Yes, there's sex. Yes, the storyline where when people climax after having sex, the climaxes are able to wander around for a while and nothing else moves, and we're getting more of the story, deeper into the story, fractions really digging deep into it. But again, for mature readers, duh. Not recommended for kids. There is nudity, there is sex, but it is well worth it. Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction are doing a great job with it, and I really can't show you the sex and nudity stuff. Here's a little bit of views after they've climaxed. This is kind of what it looks like. So very interesting. So Sex Criminals number 18. That, my friends, is your comic haul for this week. Boom. Real quick, I'm only going to have a couple more weeks to talk about this because it's coming up fast and furious, actually. It's coming up in 2 weeks. Free Comic Book Day, first Saturday in May. Go to your local comic book store. Support your local comic book store. They are giving away comics for free, and they're all good ones. They're reprints, they're original stories, they're just tastes of what their comics do to try to entice you to want to become a regular comic buyer like myself. Your stores are also probably going to have maybe some creative people, writers and artists coming in, signing the books and stuff like that. Check that stuff out also, as well as checking out the special offers. Most stores will be doing special offers. My store always does. We also get free t-shirts. Sometimes the radio stations come there. We sometimes have cosplayers. My store lets you take as many free books as you want. There are some, you got to listen to their rules though. The only rule that cannot be done is you do not have to buy anything to get your free comic. If a comic book store is doing that, they're doing it wrong, and you can report them or just not go there and go someplace else, because it's free comic book day, which means you get the comics for free. The stores do not get them for free. They have to pay a small amount. So that's why I recommend, if you don't frequent a comic book store weekly, unlike like me, I spend on average about $80, $60 to $80 a week. So they love me. So I don't feel obligated to go in on free comic book day and buy something. If I see something that I decide to wait until we get the sales, because they'll do 50% off of stuff, 60% off of stuff like that to entice people to come inside, then I'll do it. But since I'm already paying that much money during the week, I usually don't feel obligated to buy anything. And you shouldn't feel obligated either. But just think about this. They're a small business. They're putting money out of their own pocket. Granted, it's not a lot of money, but it adds up. And they're doing this to not only promote their business, but to promote comic books as well. Comic books, you got to read them. You got to read comics. I mean, yes, the pictures are nice, but you also have word balloons. So you got to learn to read. I learned how to read by comics, and it's a good way to get kids who might not like to read that much to get into reading. Yes, the pictures help a lot, but it also is a lot of words, and sometimes they use some big words they're going to have to look up for themselves, and eventually, maybe as they get older, they'll want to move on to regular books and novels. Hopefully that's the case, but at least they're reading. And that's what you need to do. Free Comic Book Day is a great day. It's first Saturday in May, coming up in 2 weeks, as I said. Definitely go check it out. Get your free comics. There's going to be all kinds, all ages, superhero stuff, crazy stuff, girl comics. There are 3 comics that are going to be for Free Comic Book Day that my daughter is going to love, because she is a fan of these things. The Loud House, Caddy Noir, I forget what that one, Scandalous or something like that, and the DC Superhero Girls. She's got all those comics are coming out, but and then they also have regular comics, and you'll get your Secret Empire stuff. And I'll probably pick up the Secret Empire one because it's free, and other stuff as well. So definitely go. If you want to know where your local store is, or if they're participating in Free Comic Book Day, there are 2 places you can go. Particularly, if you want to know about Free Comic Book Day, go to the FCBD website, Free Comic Book Day website. Just type that into your search engine. It'll take you to the website. It works very similar to the comic shop locator service, which I'm going to tell you about in a second. Type in your zip code. It'll give you a list of all the stores in your area within about a 20-mile, 30-mile radius that are involved in Free Comic Book Day. So they tell you where to go. It might even have, places to connect, links to their website so you can see what special sales they got going on. If you want to find where your local comic book store is before Free Comic Book Day to start just getting into the comic book world and seeing what's going on and checking out and finding your local store, go to the CSLS Comic Shop Locator Service. Type that into your search engine. It'll pop up. Again, type your zip code in, 20-mile radius. You'll find the stores. Go to the ones that sound good. If one doesn't sound good, go to another one, but at least try out. I know of at least 3 or 4 within a 20-mile radius of my house. I've loved my comic store, but sometimes I need to go elsewhere for something, and I've gone to the other one every once in a while as well. So definitely check it out. Free Comic Book Day coming up in 2 weeks. Comic Shop Locator Service. Pick up some good stuff. There's lots of other comics, not just superheroes. Go to your local comic store. Most comic shops will have a special offers going on this weekend. I think my store is skipping this weekend because they had a big sale last weekend for Easter, 3-day sale. They're going to take a little breather from the sale until maybe Free Comic Book Day, and then they'll go back to their weekly sales. But, you never know. Your store might be different, okay? Check it out. Join me Sunday. For Dylan Knows, I'll be talking about all kinds of stuff, including what's going on with Marvel and some other stuff as well. So definitely check it out. Have fun. Read comics, read books. Enjoy. Free Comic Book Day, 2 weeks. Goodbye. See you next week.